Hi, good evening. My name is Catherine. Um, I want to thank all the new subscribers for watching my last video. I'm very surprised about that. Um, but yeah, that was definitely a word from God, so I give him all the glory for that video. So I had a moment and I wanted to come on here and make a video about my testimony that I have from 2017, 2018. Um, Basically, I just wanted to talk about different things that I've gone through for spiritual warfare. Um, Back in 2017, 2018, I was going through a lot with my family. And basically, all the stuff that I'm getting ready to talk about right now is, excuse me, is it gave me um, it really motivated me to get a stronger prayer life. And I learned how to pray through all of these things that I'm getting ready to talk about. And I had to get a prayer life, like a real solid prayer life in order to get out of the things that I'm going to talk about right now. So, a lot of people might experience these things. I don't know. I haven't talked to a lot of people that have been through these things, but maybe it's more common than I think. So I wanted to go ahead and share this. I had written down what I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to be talking about living in an oppressed neighborhood first. So let's see. Back in 2018, um, it was after in 2017 I had my miscarriage, and I talk about that. That's a very important part of my spiritual warfare journey. And if you want to go and watch the video that's labeled "Spiritual Warfare Dreams and Visions," it does have Brian Luttrell's name on there, but you'll understand when you watch the video why his name is on there. But I do give a testimony about the miscarriage that I had in 2017 and how I could have done prayer intercession and avoided that, but that's not what happened. So all of these things that went on in these 2 years, 2017, 2018, led up to 2019, when I started searching for deliverance videos and to understand what that means to do deliverance and to get a real prayer life and to learn how to pray against things that are coming at you and attacking you in the spiritual realm. So, oppression in the neighborhood. Me and my family, we moved into a house, and it was a really a rush decision, and basically we just wanted to not be in apartments anymore. So we found a house that was for rent, and I went and toured it on a break from work one day, and I mean, it was okay. But I was more desperate for a house. I didn't want to be in an apartment. So it was like a, excuse me, it was like a rush decision. So when we applied, there was a lot of people that came to see the house at the same time I did. So I never thought that we would get the house. But we ended up getting a call from the realty office saying that we were chosen to rent there. So we moved in, and things were definitely off as soon as we moved in. It was very obvious. The people beside of us had I don't even know, there was 7 to 10 kids that lived in the house next to us. And it was just bizarre, things that were happening. You could see that the side of the yard was dirt from where the kids were just playing on it all the time. But when I went to tour the house and the other times that we had been by there as a family, we did not see kids outside. So this is why it's very important to pray about things before you make the decision to go ahead and do things like moving into a house in a neighborhood that you don't know what's going on there. So basically, when we moved in there, my youngest was like 3, and so I had a 3 and a 4-year old moving into this house, and we slept on, me and my husband slept on a mattress on the floor in this room. And I don't know what it was. Like the house kind of smelled like cigarette smoke, like the people who were there before smoked. And I didn't realize it as much. I guess like just the desperation of wanting to be in a house and not be in an apartment just like overrode everything that was going on around that house and in that house. So I had to learn the hard way. So basically, the kids that lived next door, they were very disruptive. It was like very young kids to all the way through like teenage age. And like no supervision whatsoever. The one kid was out in the yard like flashing people, and it was just, and they were smashing, like my husband had a trailer, they smashed the like reflective lights on the back of the trailer, just like it was just nonsense stuff. But anyway, the one night I went to bed and I had fallen asleep and I woke up. I had opened my eyes and I felt like I had no breath in my body. I felt like I was like turning and like I couldn't get breath. And I couldn't even, I felt like I could whisper, but I couldn't really move. I was kind of like turning, I was trying to move, but I felt like a desperation in me, like I was losing my breath, like it was being squished out of me, is the best way that I can describe that. And my husband was asleep, and I just said, Jesus, please help me. I'm not ready to die. And I just kept repeating that over and over again. Jesus, please help me. I'm not ready to die. I'm not ready to die. And eventually it started going away and going away. And I sat up and I was like, I don't know what's going on in this house. But that is really creepy what happened to me. So later I figured it out. Like I didn't see anything. In the spirit realm, I didn't see anything. So I just felt like I couldn't breathe. So but I knew that I needed to cry out and ask Jesus for help. So that's what I did. And I went away. So later I figured out that that's called sleep paralysis. I've heard Marcus Rogers talk about that he experienced that when he was in the army, that he was reading the Bible and he like fell asleep for a little while and he woke up and he couldn't breathe, like he felt like he was being choked. So I've heard one person speak about that, but I know many people have had that experience. So another night, I wasn't writing my dreams down at that point because I was still not like searching and really digging into God's word and seeking in prayer and all of that. So I had a nightmare, and I don't remember if it was before that sleep paralysis episode or not, but I dreamed that I was like walking through a party or somewhere. Like it seemed like a movie to me almost. And like the sea of people were like partying as I was walking. And then I saw like someone turn around and they had like a baby bunny or multiple baby bunnies or something in their hand, and they were skinned. And they were like bloody and oozy and nasty looking and stuff like that. So that was my nightmare that I had there. I was like, why am I dreaming about stuff like that? That's just creepy. And eventually, I was going through in that house, I was going through health problems, like attacks on my health, like seriously, I had to really like clean out everything crappy that I was eating at that time because I was having like really bad like heart palpitations. I was going to the emergency room. I was like, please help me. My heart is accelerating and I don't like they had me on the monitor in the ER and my heart was just accelerating and like I was running or something. And I wasn't. I was just sitting there. And that's a scary feeling. So I really had to clean up my diet. And it was when we were at this house that I was going through all of that. I was trying to eat vegetables. I was trying to stay away from, pizza, McDonald's. Oh, I had to clean my whole diet out. Like, yeah. But I'll talk more about that later. But so I had sleep paralysis, nightmares. We had the neighbors, all of that going on. And it just felt like in the house, you could feel like the lighting was very dim. And it was kind of like a weird vibe in there. Um, but my oldest son, I guess he was like 4.5 at the time. We pulled up in the driveway one night. We had been out, and he just vomited all in the car. Like as soon as we got home, and I was like, "It's just one more thing." I'm not saying everything is like related to the house or anything like that, but yeah, just a lot going on at that time, and I had to really, really seek God and get a prayer life because I knew that the things that were going on were not normal, especially after I had had my miscarriage and I was warned about it in a huge, long dream before it happened. Um, so I had to search after that. In 2019, I started my notebooks. I started learning how to pray, um, fasting, seeking the Lord, um, and not being like so consumed by the things of the world. Cleaning up my diet. I had to get away from pasta, bread. I just cleaned out all the sugar. Like I had to get rid of sugar. I don't eat pasta, bread, sugar, things like that. Mm-mm. No, that was really once I cleaned that stuff up out of my diet, I definitely felt a lot better. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to talk about that testimony. And I did write down here, I can talk about when I was growing up. I watched a lot of horror movies. Um, and it didn't bother me. I like my family watched a lot of horror movies, so I did too. I was attracted to those movies, you could say, because my family, you know, followed the horror movies and watched them, and um, but I can tell you about something like I didn't like when I grew up. I had a lot of things in my life that I didn't know um, that I shouldn't have in my life. Like now I look back at it and I'm like, what the heck? Like my parents allowed me to have like a Ouija board when I was younger. And I feel like things they try to be like normalized and they're not. Like that's not something that should be normal. That's just like advertised like, hey kids, do you want to get a Ouija board and summon the dead and ask them questions and all of that? No, like that's not normal. And I was a Christian growing up. I was going to church. So I look back at it and I'm like, what were they thinking? Um, but anyway, I digress. So I did watch a lot of horror movies when I was growing up, but I have a story. I didn't really feel like weird things going on when I was younger that I could tell you that, oh, I saw angels or I saw demons or things like that, because I didn't. But I went to go see the movie The Ring with my best friend in high school. And that movie scared me. Like, scenes can like startle you or whatever. But I literally like had one of those moments where I put my hands over my eyes. And that was very rare for me because I was used to seeing horror movies. And, but yeah, that was just a creepy movie. But I came home from the movies that night and I lit candles. That was just normal for me to light candles in my room. Um, and they were on a wooden dresser that I had had from since when I was little. And they were not in a glass jar or like a ceramic holder or anything like that. They were like little candles. They were different colors. And I had them in this like pretty little decoration, like metal thing. I don't even know how to describe it better than that. But it was like it had little like wire, like looked like a ivy leaf or vine around it with leaves on it. So it wasn't like something to hold it, but I mean, they held the candles, but it could go out too. Like it was not safe to leave candles burning, but I fell asleep after I saw that movie. I came home with the candles. I fell asleep and the candles burned all the way down. I don't remember them being that low, but apparently they burned all the way down, or the wax seeped out the bottom of the little metal thing that was holding them and caught my dresser on fire. And I don't know, that was just like a weird thing that happened. I didn't even wake up when that happened. My family came in, they had smelled smoke or something, thank God. And they came in and put the fire out that was on my dresser. But yeah. So that was a weird thing that happened. Um and I was not allowed to light candles or play with fire in the house after that. I was a teenager, but yeah. So, yeah, there have been weird things going on and attacks on my family, on my health, on finances, on different things, on my children. Um, I'm pretty sure that I haven't said everything that's happened. I could probably write a book on everything that's happened to me since then, since 2017, probably for a long time, more than that. But once that I found my prayer life, once I started seeking out pastors, like the main one that I would watch his videos and I would take notes on how to pray is Derek Prince. Um, I would definitely recommend if you're looking for videos to help you learn how to pray and to have self deliverance. He prays over you in those videos, and they're wonderful. I got a lot of deliverance from his videos where he would he would do like a mass deliverance. He would pray for a lot of people that came to see him speak. Um, I think he was from England, but he had a really great ministry, and I recommend his videos. And yeah, I started seeking to look at his videos. That's what I was shown first, to listen to his sermons, the things that he's talking about. He encountered and prayed for a lot of people that got deliverance from his prayers, who he ministered to personally. Um, and I know that There were other pastors that I listened to their sermons. Another one is, I believe his name is Win Worley. Um, he was also a deliverance pastor, and he would do a mass deliverance prayers as well. I learned how to pray against different things through both of these pastors. Um, and there's also another YouTuber that I would recommend if you're looking for help with prayers. If you're going through different oppressions and struggles in life that you're like, oh, what is going on? There is another YouTuber. Her name is Beth. Um, but her channel's name is The Other Side of Darkness. And she is a SRA survivor, satanic ritual abuse survivor is what that stands for. Um, and she exposes things. She has a lot of older videos. She doesn't put out a lot right now, but she taught me how to pray, um, and to, like, I subscribed to her blog. And she would write down prayers in her blog, and I would write them down so that I could pray them in my home. And they really helped me um, to understand what it means to be a woman of prayer and to really seek God for myself and not just rely upon, somebody to walk up and tell me, this is what's going on in your life. This is what you need to do to counter it. No. So I made a conscious decision um, to seek after pastors that would help with like demonic activity, with things going on that were not right, with like illnesses, attacks on like your marriage, your kids, living in oppressed places, like just different things like that. Usually in those situations, you need a lot of deliverance, and I, for one, can attest to that because once I started saying these deliverance prayers, listening to these videos, taking notes in my notebook, and trying to understand the spiritual aspects of what was going on in my life, that's when like it all started making sense to me. I was like, there is a war going on. I have to be participating in this war to fight for my life, for my family's life, for my marriage, um, for, just in general. You have to fight. And if you're not on the bad side, then you're going to have to fight. Get yourself aligned with God, and you're going to have to learn what it means to fight in prayer. Because of, if you just look and you see the evil that's trying to manifest and to be normalized on this earth, things that God destroyed cities and tons of people for over and over again in the Bible. Like, we just have to be vigilant, and we have to continue to seek God with all that we have, if that's the side that we're going to be on. Because otherwise, if we just say our little prayers and go to bed and pray over our food, I personally have done that, and then I started feeling a lot of things coming onto my life that were not good. So I had to learn through those things that they're not normal. And like, obviously, I'm talking about the sleep paralysis, the nightmares, the feeling the oppression where I lived. By the way, we only lived there for like 2 months, and then we got the heck out of there because it was not good. Yeah, you don't want to continue to live in a place where you feel like that God is not really there in that place, and that it's not there in the neighborhood even, not remotely. But yeah, I definitely learned my lesson to not be in a rush to hurry up and move somewhere because you don't want to be where you were before. No. You have to take your time and to take it to God in prayer and to ask Him to reveal to you if that is the right thing or not, which I did not do. I've learned the hard way for all of the things that I've talked about on my channel for the most part, especially my miscarriage. Um, I don't believe that dreams are just random like that. Like if you go back and you listen to my testimony about that, sure, there are dreams, like my pastor just preached about this. There are dreams that your subconscious manifests and tries to work out the different problems that you're facing in your conscious life. But there are dreams that are definitely warnings that um, you should always take your dreams to God and say, God, is this something that I should worry about? Especially if you see somebody being hurt or killed or something like that, you have to intercede in prayer. That is what I've learned to do the most, is to be in intercession prayer. That's what we have to do as Christians on this earth. We have to intercede in prayer not only for ourselves and our family, but for other Christians as well. So, yeah. Um, I would encourage you, um, if you don't pray that much, or if you're going through a difficult time, or both, um, we definitely have to get it together and seek God with all that we are. He will give you the answers that you're looking for. It says ask, and He will answer you. So, I mean, knock and the door shall be opened. It's a matter of time, but God will do it if you ask Him. So I just encourage you to um, just draw near to God and seek Him with all that you are, with all that you have each and every day, and be thankful and be grateful for the time that He has given to you. Yeah, and that's all I wanted to talk about today. And if you have any questions, or if there is anything maybe that I can help with, I know my husband wants me to talk more about dreams and interpreting dreams, but I would like his help on that. So I'll hold off on that for now. But God bless you, and thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you later.